Hello, happy Friday. It is time for Money, Markets, and Motivation with Mike. Welcome to the show. Our word of the day is gastronome. Gastronome, which is a gourmet, a noun. And here's a sentence it's used in. Julia Child was a gastronome before she learned to cook a single dish. So there you have it with our word of the day. Now we move over to our heat map. Here's our heat map. And we have kind of a mixed bag today. Costco is down 2.65. Seems like energy continues to trend with utilities. Mixed bag in industrials. Financials are up. Software is doing well. Information technology, semiconductors, and Microsoft is up about 1% today. And Palantir is down 1%. Crowd is up nearly 2%. So that's kind of a look at our heat map. And now we go over to the crypto heat map. The only ones that are down is Near and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down to 109. So the rest are in the green territory. And now we go over if you think our markets are peaking. I'm going to just share a little chart here. If you are listening to this podcast, you can always see the visual on my YouTube channel, Melfin Services, and look for the show Money, Markets, and Motivation. So we are looking for that chart, and here we go. At least a portion of your portfolio, I'd highly recommend you put into this account. It goes up when the market goes up, does not go down when the market goes down. And it beats index investing by about 5% per year. And in 2008, the markets went down 54%. So over half of your account went down. So this is a good place to secure it, especially if you're getting close to retirement. And that is a story there. I'm going to go over to our charts. In our chart of the day, today is Scholar Rock holding SRRK. It's breaking out of a little formation. It's up 13%. May want to let it go until Monday to see if it pulls back on that big move today. There has been a lot of volume the last few days in this stock. And now we're going to go take a look at the indexes. The NASDAQ is up 0.41% today, bouncing off of the 10-day moving average. The equal weight in the NASDAQ, taking out the big cap tech heavy balances there, is up 0.85. It gets back into the pivot zone. The S&P 500 is bouncing as well off of the 10-day moving average, up 0.5%. And the RSP, the equal weight in the S&P, is getting into the pivot zone again. It's nearly up 1%. The Russell 2000 small capitalization is up 0.8%. And finally, the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is up 0.64%. Right at the moment, I have displaced one of my charts. I'm going to pause our show for a second. We are back. Now we're going to look at the VIX. I assume the VIX is pulling back since the S&P 500 is moving up, and that is correct. The VIX is down 7.53%, falls to its 50-day moving average. Now we're going to go take a look at the treasuries. Treasuries are up again today. They did pull back a little bit yesterday after bouncing, but it's up 0.36% interest. It's at 4.2% interest, about 4.187. And that is the 10-year, and off to the 20-year we go. It's up 0.38% to 3.42% interest. And take a look at the bonds. Bonds tried to move higher, hit their 10-day moving average, and bounce back to the 20-day, off 0.2% for the day. And now we're going to move over to our aerospace index, gapping up today, up 1.17%. And our nuclear and uranium ETF, it's off 0.58%. Got a little extended above the 10-day moving average, so it's pulling back a little bit. On to financials. Financials are up today 0.77%. The other financial KBWB ETF is up 0.76%. Energy is up pretty close to 1% today. Just continues climbing. Communications, where Meta and Google are situation, is up 0.88%. Google is up 0.3%. And Meta was down earlier. Yes, this is still down 1.13% today. Utilities are rising pretty strongly, up 1.4%. Volume is a little muted. Real estate is actually bouncing, up 1% today. Home builders are bouncing as well, up 1.3%. Biotech, XBI is up 1.9% today. And our other biotech, IBB, is up 1.12%. Software is bouncing, up 0.93%. Technology is up 0.24%. Infrastructure, PAVE ETF is up 1.53%. The semiconductors are slightly up 0.17%, pretty close to flat for the day. Airlines up 0.81%. Consumer discretionary, this is where Tesla and Amazon are situated, up 1.44% today. Take a look at Amazon, is bouncing today, up nearly 0.9%. And Tesla is up pretty strong, up 3.56%. They got a analyst who came out and said he sees a 42% increase here. Use your own judgment. By the way, this is all brought to you for information and educational purposes only. It's up to you to do your own due diligence to find out what's right for you. And as we continue, industrials are up 0.89%. Healthcare pulls up to the 50-day moving average, up 1%. Consumer staples bounces after many days of falling under the 200-day moving average. Looks like a waterfall almost. Is up 0.22%. And building materials gets a bounce. Looks like it's trying to fill the gap of gapping down yesterday, up 1.25%. Metals and mining continues to show their strong performance, up 0.93%. Looks like an ascending base. It's just kind of riding the 10-day moving average higher and higher every day. And finally, on to uranium. It's pulling back a little bit, off 1.5% for the day. So we're going to move into where the big money is flowing today and have a little chart analysis. Rollins is number one on our list. Huge move up, 3.51%. really strong move off the 50-day moving average. Got a rising relative strength line. We'll just see if it can continue to rise. Spirit Aerosystems supposed to have 52% earnings increase this year and 111% increase next year. Have a big gap up. They get above the 20-day moving average, up 3.47 today. Electronic Arts. Wow, look at that move. Up 15% today. Got a new high in the relative strength line. And looks like we are in a power trend. The 10-day is above the 20 is above the 50, and the 50 is above the 200. Ford Motor Company is breaking out today, gets into its pivot zone, up 3.35%. Has a long cup with handle formation it's trying to break out of. And you can see this big green formation if you are watching the YouTube video. Boeing gaps up today, up 3.65%, gets above its 20-day moving average. Moonlake Immunotherapy gaps up ever so slightly and then powers through its pivot zone. It is up about 10% on the day. Take-Two Interactive, we haven't heard that company for a while. They are rising to the top of their pivot zone, up 4.36% today. Take a look at the volume. The volume increases 150% increase in volume. They're looking at a 217% increase in earnings in 2027 and 13% in 2026. We have AAR Corporation. They provide engine and airframe parts and maintenance to airlines, and they are bouncing into the pivot zone today. Increase in volume of 162%. Earnings came in at a 27% increase, so people are cheering that move. That is. We have 23 items on the list. We're not going to go through all, but Chimera Therapeutics rises out of the pivot zone, up 4.41%. Relative strength line is at a new high. It is in a power zone. It went into a power zone right about 44.29. So we're looking for this to keep rising according to the moving average are all in line. And Macy's looks like it's trying to break out here, up 5.39% today. Take a look at the volume. The volume, we got some pretty good volume there. And looking over the rest, Pan American Silver and Century Aluminum are getting some pretty good price movement today. Century Aluminum up over 8%. Intel gapped up and near its highs for the day, up another 5%. And their stock of the day is Scholar Rock Holding. It has cleared all the moving average. It's up 12%. And as I said, you might want to wait until Monday if you were interested in investing in this. Maybe a little bit of a pullback on Monday. That I'll just leave up to everybody here. And that is, so this consolidation with Scholar Rock looks like a flat base. It is a stage 1 consolidation. few years ago when they came out with their IPO, they had a pretty strong move. You want to look for companies that have a prior move of at least 35%, and then they have a consolidation, and then they generally get institutions backing them. What you want to look for is in the pivot zone, you don't want to buy more than 5% extended. You want to keep your losses 5 to 8%, put in sell stops on your losses, and then you want to take your profits at 20 to 25%, at least 1/3. Take another third when it goes 25 to 30, and you can leave a third, just see if you think it's going to continue going up. If it pulls back more than 12%, you might consider taking that off. So that is my feedback there. We're going to stop the share, move over to our quote of the day. And our quote of the day comes from Percy Shelley, English Romantic poet. And Percy says, "There is harmony in autumn and a luster in its sky, which through the summer is not heard or seen, as if it could not be, as if it had not been." So there you go. That is our quote of the day. Hope everybody has a great day. Go out there and do something good for somebody, even if it's only to bring a smile to their face. Let's try to uplift one another, make this a better place to live in. And we shall be back on Monday. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everyone.